Hi, Laurence. How are you?
Nice to see you.
So, welcome everybody. Uh, this is a live session with the French expatriated to the US artist Laurence de Valmy, who was based initially in New York and who is now in San Diego. No, San Diego? Yeah,
In
okay.
San Diego.
In San Diego. Okay, so East Coast from West Coast.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, let's wait a little bit for people to connect. Meanwhile, I'm going to remind to all the audiences that today is devoted to creators, digital creators, artists, etc. But also potentially to all the people that create digitally things and that create things, sorry. Just a quick overview of the program for next week, for the next day, sorry. So tomorrow is devoted to freedom. It's a very interesting theme per se, especially because of the news, and especially also because for us, because we're going to organize a live talk on the topic of cultural heritage in times of war with the director of the Fine Art Museums of Odessa and some specialists from Mosul, the Iraqi city that was devastated by Daesh. It's almost the same story. That's kind of that is puzzling. Thursday will be about sexuality. Friday about environment. Saturday about life lessons. These wisdom quotes that you will find over the internet. And museums will have good ones to share. And the last day is devoted to dance, because dance is not a closure for us; it's an opening. So let's finish by a beginning, if I may say. We'll have the chance to broadcast a performance from the French dancer Jeanne Morel, who will dance on the roof of Paris. So stay tuned to our channels. Hey, Sergio, we are speaking about you. um, so yeah, let's start. Welcome everybody. So we are now live between San Diego, US, and Paris, France. So we have the pleasure to welcome on this Creators Day Laurence de Valmy, who is an artist, and she's going to answer to your questions, maybe to my questions also. It's just a conversation, a casual conversation. So just for the people who are listening to us right now and who will listen to us later, because it's like this today, people watch the content after the live sessions most of the time. Who are you? Where do you come from? What is your trajectory, personal trajectory? What moves you and what moved you towards art? Let's not speak about tech. Speak about
Yes.
art. How did you reach art?
Well, I guess so. Thanks for having me. First of all, always a pleasure to participate to Museum Week. And so I've always practiced art, but it's only when I moved to the US about 8 years ago that I really started to get into art as a professional artist, whereas I was more doing it for my personal development and pleasure before that. And that's when I realized that it's really, I had a lot to learn. And earlier, Sergio was talking about the business side of art, and indeed, it's what I had to learn when I came to it. So, and being
Just sorry to interrupt. Sergio Gomez is
yes, Sergio Gomez,
Sergio
yeah,
Gomez. Let's precise the
exactly.
name.
Who was the previous live, I think. So,
Yes.
yes, as I said, I was doing art for my pleasure, and moving to the US, I started to. I was also inspired by being in New York, the city where dream can happen, and I wanted to fulfill that dream of mine to work as a professional artist. So that's how I came to take the leap.
Okay, so it's really connected to your arrival in the US, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So, I mean, I
and
was already practicing before, but more
mhm.
in the background.
Okay, interesting. Did you have an academic
So I didn't
background on art?
art.
Or,
No, I
I
studied.
mean, you studied something else. I mean, you were not
Yeah,
coming from the academics.
I
Okay.
studied business, and I came to art through my mother, who's an artist too, and so I was more exposed to art through my personal.
Personal life,
Yes.
family
So
life.
yes, exactly. So I was
Interesting.
reading books and visiting exhibitions. So I guess all that fed me, and that's how I consider myself more self-taught. I took a few classes here and there, but mostly it was through my
Excellent.
personal.
And
Yeah.
now you're a professional artist, and we're going to explore that angle also now, because probably like most of the artists, you had to go from the analog world to the
Yes.
digital world, and by digital world I mean first Web 1,
Yes.
web, internet pages, etc. Then Web 2, social, and maybe you will tell us Web 3.
Yes.
So can you
It's
just, yeah, sorry, please,
yeah.
you
No,
have
it's
the floor.
interesting that you say that. It's. I'm sorry. There's a bit of noise. It's not.
We don't hear it.
Okay. Good. Great. What happened is I was working and I decided to put a few of my works online on Saatchi Art at the time, which is a platform that sells art online. And I got a request to buy my work. And that's when I first had, like I had a website and I had this online platform, and that's when it gave me the spark to go further, because I realized that if I could sell an artwork without really marketing it, that maybe there was something for me to explore. So that pushed me to expand my work and to market it, to go and find opportunities, and that was the start of it. So first thing was indeed the online. That gave me the push.
Yes, to see the digital world just as a place where to display, right? Not to engage, not to, but to
Exactly,
display.
because
Yeah.
before online marketplace, as an emerging artist or at least a starter, there were no really other option to show your work. You had to exhibit in a place, and to find a place to exhibit, you already need a little bit of resume. So it's interesting to see how the digital world created opportunities for people like me who had no resume at the time.
Interesting. So already it gave you something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second step would be the social media. And before that, I was not into social media, believe it or not. But when I moved to the US, I realized that I needed to build a new network and in the art world, and I knew no one working as an artist. So I connected with artists, galleries, and different people through social media, and then met some of them in real life. That's how I became also friends with Sergio Gomez and with you and many different people that I met through social media. And that gave me also contacts with, in real life, with some other opportunities. So one thing led to another. But social media is certainly was a big help for me.
Okay, so it helps you to build social life,
Yes.
professional social life, I would say,
Yes, exactly.
on the side of your professional activity, I would say.
Yes. And
Relationship, sorry?
yeah, to go beyond my local network.
Yeah, your immediate
Yes.
physical network. Okay, you extended your perimeter, and you were able to engage more easily, maybe, and people to find you and to have.
Totally.
Okay.
And that also inspired me, my subject matter of my Instagram of the past.
Yes, let's speak about that.
So I have one painting behind me. Sorry about the noises. So if I don't know if people see in reverse the text, but the idea of these paintings is to create an Instagram as if Instagram had existed in the past. So here I share a story of Nikit Snafal. In another artwork, it's Keith Haring, and I have many works about many different artists. So it's really a way to highlight the place of Instagram for artists today, because visual artists rely a lot on social media, and Instagram is a favorite for now. We'll see how things evolve, and to share a story. So there is a little like I give a glimpse into the life of the artist at the time.
Yes.
So all the dialogues are based on their biographies.
Ah, okay. This is interesting. So what if they would have
Yes.
if they would have had Instagram, how would they used it? But according not to your imagination, but your imagination based on their real life and bio and etc. Very interesting. It's art, and it's also pedagogical, if I may say, if I may make this personal thing, because it's an opportunity to learn about the life of the artist.
And I learned about the artists in that way, because I know about them, but I dive in detail into their life when I work on one specific project. So I learned a lot along the way.
So you post these fake Instagram posts on Instagram with your account, right?
Yes. And
like a double mirror.
So these are physical artworks with a digital counterpart, which is the story behind the art that I post on my website. So if you go to my website, you can click on each painting and get the stories. Okay.
So now, okay, we see clearly the evolution of your work and your process work. So what happened when you met Web3? What do you, maybe you remember the first day, but when you heard about, let's say, NFTs, how did you met each other?
So NFT, like a lot of people, I heard about them when people sold this famous artwork, and I have to be honest, I had not heard about NFTs before. So I looked into it, and I was like, okay, maybe I should do NFTs too. What is it? And it took me some time, to really understand. And I listened to a lot of podcasts, interviews, read stuff, because it's not easy when you first approach this universe. Especially, I'm not a tech person per se. I mean, I'm curious and I try to learn about it. And first thing, when I realized that artists had to pay gas fees to mint, to sell their work, I was a bit, I had feelings. And the environmental impact also kind of bugged me a little. So I wasn't really, I decided to let it aside. And then I met with voice.com, which is an NFT platform, which objective is to democratize access to NFTs by eliminating gas fee, which means that creators can sell their work for free. And of course, there is a commission once the artwork is sold. And also they have a carbon neutral platform. So, and the last thing that I liked about it is that you don't need to buy cryptocurrency to be active on Voice. You can use dollars or whatever you have. So it's really open. It's not targeted only towards tech savvy and cryptocurrency. So I started with the Voice and really liked their approach. And that's how I came to create.
Interesting. And how did this modify the nature of your work? Because we can see that the work that you exposed, that you were speaking about previously, about the Instagram is connected to the media per se. So
Yeah.
now that you are on a new media, new material, even if it's immaterial, how did this affected your work and the perception of your work? Maybe you would.
So, in fact, it inspired me to create new works because I didn't want to just take a photo of my Instagram and post them on
That was the
as
question,
an
yes.
NFT. I wanted to create something a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And I had in mind to tackle how artists are using TikTok. And TikTok is a video platform. So I used TikTok as a platform to create TikTok of the past. So it's the same concept
Excellent.
applied to TikTok. So I created
Mm-hmm.
Jean-Michel Basquiat official account.
Oh, you
And
did? Really? Okay.
yeah, I did.
I
And
didn't
the
know
Wahl
that.
official, I mean, I found some profiles that were still available in their names. So I created that and I did a few videos sharing a moment of their life.
Okay.
And that's how I did it.
But this is still Web 2, according to my understanding. Is it? It's because
Well,
through
it's
how where is the NFT is bridging
well
there?
so I created videos that are between 30 to 50 seconds. And they are TikToks videos, and then I created them as NFTs. So now they
Okay.
are in the blockchain.
In the
And
blockchain, okay. It's okay.
they are unique artworks in the sense that they are videos of one moment in time.
Excellent. Just in case some of the people who are watching us or who will watch us about NFTs, I made the exercise yesterday with the Belvedere Museum from Vienna, from the CEO from and with from the CEO from Crypto for Arts, and with Sergio Gomez today. What is an NFT? Because it's sometimes you heard about it, it's people speak about it, but we don't know what it means. Is it a work of art per se? NFT, a non-fungible token. What is that?
In fact, an NFT can be anything that is digital. It's just a proof of ownership and a certificate of authenticity. Digital artwork existed before NFTs. NFTs created a way to sell digital works in an easier way because if you were a video artist prior to NFT, I guess you had to sell a USB key, or I mean, the place where the digital artwork was, maybe before it was a VHS tape, in the old days. So basically now you sell an NFT, but you could have an NFT that maybe in the future will be the sale of your house. So it's not necessarily an artwork. Today we tend to associate in the art world NFTs and artworks, but NFT can be many different things.
Yes, so if I understand correctly, the NFT per se is not a work of art, it's a certificate.
Yes.
Right? And before the blockchain technology that allows NFT, you could have digital works, you could create, and you could expose it on your website, but
Yes.
you cannot say, I mean, if someone take your painting, your digital work online, film it, picture it, he can resell it. So the economy of the art is fragilized on this. And theoretically speaking, it's going to strengthen the economy of art. We are getting closer to the traditional economy of the market because we can build certification of the arts. And this is what brings the value, right? So NFTs bring that into the digital world. Is it correct?
Yes, that's what I think. And from my experience nowadays, most of my collectors do not own NFTs. Okay, NFTs are more seen as something for tech people and another crowd. What I believe is that people will come to NFTs because NFTs will give them something else that just owning an image on the blockchain.
Interesting.
I think what will democratize NFT is that you buy an NFT and you get something. It can be like maybe an entrance for a concert or a physical artwork. something in return. And that's where you were talking about Phygital with Sergio, and it's exactly how I see the future of NFT. At least for me, is that to connect the digital and the physical artworks.
Yes, and also, if I understood you correctly, if the fact that you buy an NFT can make you a member of a group,
Yeah.
it can allow you membership.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got it. Yeah, that's very interesting. You heard about the Belvedere experience, right? You know what they did?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So just for the people who are watching us, we had the chance yesterday to speak with the director of communication and strategy of the Belvedere Museum in Vienna. They took the famous painting of Gustav Klimt. I was about to say Mahler, no. Gustav Klimt, The Kiss, the famous one. They scanned it, I would say, into very high resolution. Only the owners could do that, of the real painting. They divided into 10,000 little pieces of NFTs, and they sold it. And when you bought one piece, you didn't know which one you were buying. And at the end of a certain time, everybody knew which piece they had. And with that, they became donors to the museums. And they could make a spec because, of course, they opened the sale for the Valentine's Day. See the message, of course. And everybody was dedicating, a piece of NFTs, and the message was written in the museum. So it's a communication, it's a fundraising operation, but it's also a way to build a community.
Exactly.
Which experience that I find very interesting. You spoke about Phygital. So yes, it's I don't know how to say mot valise in English. It's a neologism, maybe. It's built with physical and digital, so you bring them together. How do you see that? What's your concrete definition of that, and how do you personally use it? What is Phygital art?
So my first real digital art is a piece I created recently. It's a collaborative artwork, which I called #AllConnected. And I contacted about a bit less than 200 people on my network and asked them to give me a hashtag and a color of that choice, and you were kind enough to participate. And then I created an artwork that combined all these different participations, and I created so physical artwork, which is here, which is a print based on these participation, and an NFT, which is an animation around these each hashtag that everybody chose represents, their state of mind at the time, who they are. So it's really a time capsule that represents all the people I know. And on the spiritual level, I really believe we are all connected through in this life, but also I believe in reincarnation. So I believe we are also connected, through different lives. So that piece, reflects what I believe in, and I was happy to connect these people. So the connection between the physical artwork and the NFT is thanks to a QR code that is here. So when now QR codes are everywhere, and if you simply put your phone in front of a QR code, it takes you somewhere. So on this artwork, if you scan the QR code, you will get to the NFT.
Excellent.
So that's how I connect both artworks, and I created like smaller artworks like this one, and it's the same thing. There are small QR codes that takes to an NFT, and this is part of an auction for ArtCan, which is a non-profit community that I am a member of. So yeah, that's how I use the Phygital through the QR code. But there are other ways.
I'm going to ask you a last question about this NFT. And first, for our audiences, I don't want them to think that we are obsessed by NFTs. For us, innovation is not only high tech. Especially during Museum Week, we really, emphasize also innovative actions, that are having a social impact effect, social impact. So, but for NFT, what would you say to an artist that is producing analog work and who is doubting, questioning, being reluctant to the idea of going to the Web3? Is it the next necessary move to continue to exist for an artist? If you don't have a resume, let's say, if you're not a star, do you have to go NFT? Can you?
I don't know. I think you have to do something that inspires you. If it feels like a burden, I guess it will be hard to be really creative about it. But I think an artist should remain curious and open to new things. Like I'm always very inspired to read the biographies of artists I like. And when you look at Andy Warhol, he was very curious. He tried to do digital artworks on Mac when he first had access to a Mac, and then he died shortly afterwards. So, but I'm sure he would do NFT, that's for sure. David Hockney, he created fax artwork, when faxes were something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he sent drawing through a fax.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
He creates iPad drawings, and he's 82 years old. So, it's never too late to learn something if you are curious. So it's more state of mind. Matisse renewed his work when he was 67 and with his cutouts. So I think it's really a state of mind of remaining open. But of course, if it's something that repel you, I guess there are other ways.
No, but that's very interesting because it puts the technology into perspective, into time. That it's just a tool. It's just the tool it is a new tool, but maybe the people had the same kind of conversation when TV arrived, when radio arrived, so it's just the medium per se.
Like Edgar Degas did photography. He was a photographer. I mean, he did only a few because he was already old. But it can be something seen as a challenge or an opportunity. And I think it's both. But, that's how you create new things.
No, and I like what you said. It's also a question of how do you use the tool, the destination of the tool. Is it a finality or a mean? It's changed the whole story.
I think it's a great opportunity for art institutions beyond artists to reach new audiences. Because I see with my kids, when I take them to a museum, they are not so into, just watching a painting. They want something beyond that. And I think because they were born with a smartphone, and whether we want it or not, it's how it is. And they do learn stuff through their phones. I mean, not everything is bad about it. And I think that if you can have, access to the story beyond the artworks, animations, it can create the link between the physical and digital. So I think an opportunity there, I see an opportunity there for
a link or a step towards learning more and the will to know more. I hope. Okay, Laurence, it was a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. I don't know if anybody has a question for Laurence. If not, we are going to close this live. I thank you very much. Thank you, Laurence, again, and for all the people that are connected and were connected and will be connected. Happy Museum Week. Enjoy and see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.